The migration, economic crisis, to what extent you think that these problems put EU solidarity in jeopardy?
To a great extent, as we have seen. On the other hand, the EU is built on the concept that solidarity in the end is also in your own interest. And I think we will go through a rough time, but we will come to the solution of these combined crises. But this will will require a lot of sense of responsibility from national governments. And the current trend of national governments and leaders to react to European problems more and more on a short-term basis and having in mind almost exclusively their position of consensus politically at home will need to be changed.
So you think there should be more conversation between EU leaders, more conversation between EU leaders and the people, the common people?
Yes, and EU leaders, I mean in particular the leaders of the member states of the EU, should, in my view, respect more the common construction of Europe rather than, as they often do, denigrating it for electoral purposes at home.
Okay, do you think that inequality among EU institutions has effect on inequality among EU members? I mean, like EU Parliament is not permitted to take decisions about EU. So you think there's some a connection between
You mean
this?
the European Parliament is, well, the European Parliament has a big role in decision making. No proposal of directive or regulation can become a directive or regulation unless the European Parliament supports it. But it is true that there are certain areas where the governments have a much bigger role. And I think that over time the powers of the European Parliament should continue to increase, but I think we should not give the impression that today the Parliament does not have powers.
What do you say about migration problem in Greece and Italy? You think that they are very overwhelmed in comparison to other
They
members?
definitely are, and the decision agreed in principle in Europe that there should be more support for these two countries and also a system of quota of refugees on each of the member states, I think are good decisions, but they have great difficulty in being implemented, which also shows the weakness of the mechanism through which once a thing is decided in the European context, it is then to be implemented. Thank you very much.